Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on Lumber Capital Log Yard. What is happening here today, I think you guys will find pretty interesting. We are at a location where an original pioneer home is being carefully deconstructed. From there, it will be moved and used for the upper level of the barn garage at the 1780 project. Last week, we got to see the first level and hear from Tim, the contractor working on this project, about what it took to build it, as well as his plans for the beautiful red oak flooring. Today, we get to hear from him once again about his plans for the upper level, which I promise will be just as unique as the first. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Okay, hey, we're back at, well, I'm with Tim from the 1780 project, and we're not at the 1780 project, but this is a building that has been torn down approximately 40 miles from Williamsport, brought back to this property, a different property, and reassembled, and we're going to talk about that today. So can you tell us a story about tearing it down?
Sure. A friend of mine called and told us about this building. They didn't know it was a log building until they started tearing it down. It had seen better days. So we got there and there were a whole bunch of people interested in it, but nobody would commit to doing the work. So we just struck a deal with him and we said, if you want it gone tomorrow, we're your people. Handshake, and we got started.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so this was in Beach Creek, PA. We believe it's about 1860 that it was cut.
Okay.
It was a two-story structure, many layers of siding on it, had a big addition on it, and a giant roof system.
One of the things that I'm really curious about, two things I'm really curious about, is why do you reassemble it before it goes to its final home? Why is that done?
So we don't like laying these on stickers on the ground. They bend, they take moisture. If you put them back the way they were assembled, they tend to winter over better. So this one's been sitting for probably a year.
Gotcha.
And I don't know, we like to treat them nice. And believe it or not, it weathered really nicely. It took a lot of the debris off of it, just letting it sit out in the open like this. So, yeah, we try to treat them nice. And
are these for identifying how it came down and how it goes back up? Yeah,
we tagged this before we pulled it apart. The numbers have faded off, but it's reassembled the same way that it came down. So it's ready to go again.
And another question I have is, it'd be hard to get it into a kiln because of its size. So you just put it back up with the moisture content that is currently.
They didn't worry about it in 1860. I'm not going to worry about it today. And this one's unique. It's a saddle notch, which usually we take them and we dovetail them, but our notches are in such good condition. We are not going to do that with this. We're just going to use it the way it sits. We might tighten up some of these gaps so we don't have quite as much chinking to do. But we're ready to do it.
So as this goes back to the 1780 project, where is it going to be part of that? Where's it going?
This is going to sit right on top of your red oak floor.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So
you're covering up my red oak.
Well, just the edges.
Just the edges.
We have a 6-inch overhang, so a couple inches will get covered. But
so this will be the second story then of the garage slash barn.
This will be the pull-in barn section.
Okay, and that will be from up above Okay, so that will have to be the ground will have to be redone and It'll
Yeah.
sort of be like a bank barn.
You'll have a pull
Then-
into the back, so the
Okay.
dirt level will be even to the back, and
Gotcha.
you'll be able to park your lawn tractor in here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of what species it is, or is it a hodgepodge, or?
I think it's mostly pine, but I do think there's some hemlock in here as well, but
Okay.
I haven't looked at it a whole lot. Actually, this is the best I've seen it. It was filthy when we took it apart.
Okay.
We did it in a week. We tore the whole house apart in a week, and we didn't save anything else other than the logs on this, which is uncommon, but it had been renovated
Numerous
20
times.
times. Yeah, there were
Yeah.
drop ceilings in it. It was ugly.
Yeah. I saw the trailer just left, but I saw some of the material that went out, and I was shocked at the number of nails that
Oh yeah.
were in it. So you could see decades of
Yep.
add-ons and
Plastered
siding
lath and siding.
Oh, okay.
This
yeah.
had a really neat siding too. So it had 3 layers of siding,
Okay.
but the earliest one, as we peeled it back, it was a cedar siding that was about that wide, but they had cut it to look like 2 pieces in 1 piece.
Oh,
It was
wow.
really unique, and
Yeah.
I think it's unique to Beech Creek because there's a church down the road that has it today that's painted.
Okay.
I never have seen that before, but it was a cool
Very,
little feature.
very cool look.
Yeah. There were a lot
Well-
of snakes in it too.
Oh, I imagine there were.
Yeah, it's gross.
How many have you torn down now?
6 or 7.
6 or 7.
Yeah, give or take. The first one I did was I was in my 20s, so
Okay.
Paul Beard.
With Paul Beard.
Yep, over
Yeah.
in Williamsport, we did one.
When I spoke with Dwayne earlier, he had said that sometimes the teardowns, there's just a multitude of different wood,
Yeah,
which would make sense because it wasn't transported. It came right off the property. It's mid 1800s or latter 1800s. So
I think if it was in the way, they cut it down.
they
and
cut it
used
down and then used it. So you could have pine, you could have oak, you could have hemlock,
Yeah.
you could have whatever species stood right there, all in your home
Yep,
at the time.
and that one's up on the hill is unique, as I'm sure you saw. It's
Yeah,
chestnut,
it's
mostly
chestnut, yeah.
and you don't see those a whole lot anymore.
Yeah.
So you find those, and you have to
We're
treat them differently.
going to come back and do an entire video on the cabin.
Neat.
There's a lot of our wood in it.
Yeah,
And
sure
we're
is.
very excited to show the end use again of the wood, but to actually stand in a cabin that's chestnut is
wild, huh?
pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out there. It's just, and to know that it's such big material. It's not just a board; it's a log,
Yeah.
and it's chestnut.
I lost more drill bits in that building trying to
I
pull wires.
I
in
bet
it.
you did.
It just,
yeah.
it does not. You can't change it. You know.
Yeah. So we're save the details and show the cabin in another video. I think everybody's really going to love to see it, and you'll get to see some of our wood in there in a finished design again. So thanks, Tim.
No, anytime.
It's just absolutely fantastic. I'm always impressed, and it does me well to see this end of it. It gets lonely in the woods sometimes.
I bet it does.
And you see the mess and you don't see
Yeah.
the end of it. And when I'm able to stand on site, it reinvigorates me to continue doing what I'm doing when I know it's just going into something that is so phenomenally beautiful, something that has so much history that's germane to our area, and is going to be a long-standing piece for another 100+ years, hopefully.
That's the hope for sure.
Yeah, so-
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you for your
appreciate it.
time. I greatly appreciate it.
It's awesome.
You and Dwayne, you greatly bless us, and I'm glad to be a small part of what you do. So thank you.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
That's it for today's video, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, we'll see you back here next time. Bye.